There has to be concern, not only with media, with people who host shows like this, with fans, regarding a guy who snuck over to Munich, Germany, comes
Mm.
back, and he's banged up again, and he re-aggravates something. I didn't buy for a second he was anywhere close remotely to being healthy in those games he did play, but we're getting a little later in the season, and now we're about to hit the midway point. The Four Nations is coming up. There has to be growing concern as to A, how to handle this situation, and B, what this means for the long-term prospects of Auston Matthews this season.
Yeah. You don't need, first of all, you don't need to rush him. And I think that's the last thing that needs to happen here. Make sure he's ready to go. If he misses the next 10 games, gives a crap. Miss the next 10 games. Team's going to be fine. You want him as healthy as possible come playoff time. So, I mean, like, I understand there's not a lot of transparency around his injury, which can be frustrating. But I mean, at the end of the day, you just want the guy healthy. Like, go do whatever you got to do, whatever your injury is. Go do whatever you got to do to fix it. Play better, and when you come back, and help this team, compete for a championship. There's enough in the tank. They got enough weapons right now where you don't need to worry about not having Auston in the lineup. This month is going to end, in less than a week. Focus on the other elements. Focus on the positives. Tree's going to look to bring in somebody for that second line. Focus on all those things, and then go from there.
I just thought it was weird that the wording the wording around Matthews so far has been he's day to day. We'll see how he reacts before the break. They're like, we'll see how he does over the 3-day break. Like, why not just shut the guy down? I don't understand. Is the Four Nations weighing in on both sides right now, do you think, to their best of your knowledge?
From the Leafs perspective, I hope not, because who gives
Yeah.
a shit,
Yeah.
right? Like, nobody, it doesn't matter. It's a made up tournament. Like, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to
Sure.
enjoy it. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, from a Leafs mentality, boot. I don't care. See ya. Forget it. You're not playing in that damn thing. Like, if the injury is serious enough, um, you need to have a conversation with Auston and his agent and his team and say, look, guys, what's more important here, playing for this thing or playing for a Stanley Cup? And and it could simply be a day-to-day thing right now. We don't know because no one's saying anything. But at the end of it, if you're thinking long term, and this is going to be something that's going to be a long term issue this season, see you later. Four
Yeah.
Nations, peace.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're on this U.S. team, Canadian team, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I want to compete for a Stanley Cup. If there's the possibility that you're going to re-aggravate something, or it's going to take you longer to heal by playing in this tournament, I'm sorry. See you later. Focus on the Olympics. Who cares about this one right now?
I got heat after that Devils game where he scores the OT winner, and I questioned that he didn't look anywhere remotely close to being right. And people were like, "How could you say that? He scored the winner. He has not looked right all season long." I've been echoing this sentiment the entire year. He is so damn good at hockey. You look, and he's averaging a point per game. That's just how good Auston Matthews is, and he's nowhere close to being healthy. And I think the biggest objective between now and the end of the regular season, get this guy right, Dave. I'm so there
Yeah,
with you. He's
yeah, that's what
accomplished
it has to be.
everything in the regular season. It is all about the Stanley Cup playoffs. If he needs to miss the next 40 games, so be it. I think they're going to be okay, but I love having that LTIR conversation. I really do.
Yeah, well, just to spend the money, um, or just to sit him. Look, again, he's your best guy. Do you want your best guy playing at 50%, or do you want him as close to 100 as possible? If it means sitting him out for now, if he's out of the lineup and they're losing and they're dropping down the standings, and all of a sudden they're out of the top three in the Atlantic and this, that, and the other, then you have a different conversation. But when you've got Mitch and Willie and Tavares and so on, um, stepping in and kind of holding the fort down, and you're still in a position where you're competing for first in the division, I don't understand what the argument is.
I know.
Sit the guy, make
Yeah.
sure he's healthy, tell him as nicely as possible you're not playing in that fucking tournament, and that's it. Focus on playoffs and go from there. Obviously, in this type of the league would love to see him in the tournament, clearly, but the Leafs are the ones chasing the Stanley Cup. You got to figure out what's best for that objective, not for tonight against Detroit.
Yeah, and you know this market. People are trying to create theories as to why they haven't announced he's out indefinitely or not playing for the foreseeable future, and people trying to pin this on the four nations. And Auston really wants to play for the States. Like, I get that, but I can't buy it. It would just be a tough look for the guy who's the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, trying to force himself to play in a fabricated, man-made tournament when it's not even the Olympics and there are four nations. Like, I don't know. It would be a
I can
tough
tell
look.
you. I could tell. I spent a little bit of time with him in the summer.
Yeah.
Is he excited to rep his country? Of course. Um, would I throw money down that he's prioritizing that over his season with the Leafs? Absolutely not. Like, again, this isn't an official World Cup. This isn't the Olympics. This is a different ball game here,
Yeah.
right? Like he wants to win a championship with the Toronto Maple Leafs. If this tournament, if he's not healthy and this tournament hinders his ability to get healthy, he's not playing in it.
I said this last week. I think it would be such a positive PR spin to this whole thing if Matthews came out and said, I'm not playing in this tournament. I'm banged up. I'm hurt. Had like a press conference and said, I'm looking to win a Stanley Cup this season. Just hearing those words would make me so excited, Dave.
It's a bit of a catch-22. Those should be the right words for this market. But because this is a league-driven event, NHL, NHLPA, you got to be. It's politics. You got to play it nice. You can't just say "F this tournament." I want to focus on. You've got to word it in a certain way. So don't be surprised if he's not healthy enough to play in this tournament. Don't be surprised in a month from now. They have that discussion, and he addresses the media and says, "I'm not 100%. I don't want to risk getting hurt even further. I want to compete for a championship with Toronto, and my priorities are there. As much as I would love, and it would be an honor, and blah, 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 to wear the jersey and this, that, represent my country, blah, 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 I'm out." But
It's like
that is something that's more likely to occur in a month than now. If it happens now, it should, but if it happens now, I'd be shocked.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosa. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.